Okay, we are live. I'm not seeing anybody. Hey Sophia, anybody in the anybody in the like live streaming right now? I'm not sure if I'm seeing anybody. Hello. Okay. All right, so I'm seeing some people. Hi Evan, hi Konstantin. Hello everyone. Just we're gonna get started in a bit. So I'm gonna give a couple of hi. Chainlink is here. Great. Okay. Let's give just maybe 30 seconds. And wow, there's so many people. How many people are there? I cannot see any people. 19 people. Okay. Great. All right, let's do this. I'm going to start. Hello. Hello, Emine. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to start very quickly in a bit. All right. Okay. Should I go ahead and get it going? You're waiting. Okay, perfect. Oh, that's awesome. From Argentina, that's amazing. All right, everyone, I'm going to start. We're already 1 minute into the workshop. Thank you for tuning in. I'm very excited to be here. My name is April Engwall, and I'm head of ecosystem at Space and Time. And today, I'm going to show you like what Space and Time is, and then what you can do with Chainlink. So, in Space and Time together. So very excited to be here. And so I'm going to explain and like do a demo. And at the end, please just ask your questions at the end. And then like it can be about presentation. It can be about like the demo or functions demo that I'm going to showcase. But before that, let me tell you who I am. Again, April Engwall, head of ecosystem. What that means is that I lead the partnership and integrations. I've been in the Web3 industry for almost 4 years, maybe even more. I work with a lot of validators. I love working with validators. I work with a lot of dApp developers and a lot of partners, wallets, bridges, you name it. Prior to that, I was a principal software engineer at Oracle, big data engineer, not the Oracle like chaining oracles, but actual Web2 Oracle, which is a centralized database. Space and Time is a couple of my favorite things all in one place. It's Web3, decentralized, and also data. I love all three. So let's get it going, and I'm just going to start my presentation, and let's please ask your questions at the end. So let's start with what Space and Time is. Can you see my screen? Hopefully you're seeing it. All right, so what is Space and Time? Space and Time is a decentralized data warehouse that basically lets smart contracts execute SQL queries. What I mean by that is like Space and Time allows dApp developers and offers on-chain as well as off-chain data in a single platform. And you can execute SQL queries in tamper-proof, decentralized, and trust-minimized way. So a couple of things that I want to mention. But before that, if you're already in the Web3 and a developer in the Web3 space, you already know that smart contract has a lot of limited capabilities, right? There's like lack of capabilities. So it doesn't have access to off-chain data, which is fixed by Chainlink. You can bring in price feeds and all the data that you want. You cannot put terabytes of data. It's expensive. You cannot execute a lot of aggregations, a lot of complex analytics and queries in smart contracts. So all you can do is that you need to do it off-chain. So what Space and Time brings into the picture with the Chainlink is that you can ask the questions that you cannot ask to smart contracts. So what I mean by that, we index all the major blockchain data. So which means that not only the smart contracts specifically to yours, but we also index blocks, transactions. We also index like NFT wallet balances. We index NFT transfers, token balances, you name it. And you can query on top of this big terabytes of data. And then you can ask questions like, give me all my assets across all the blockchains in Polygon and Avalanche in a single query. And it's space and time is also transactional and analytical processing. I'm going to go in a little bit more what this means, but in general, whenever you're developing something and then develop an application with a UI, you want low latency, or you can just like, for instance, you go to NFT marketplace, you want to see all the NFTs, right, that your wallet owns. So this kind of query needs to come back in a split second. Nobody wants to wait 10 seconds to get this query, right? So it is an OLTP processing where you can ask questions like, what is my wallet balances? And in a specific time, you can ask complex queries. So with space and time, you can ask both of the question in a single platform. Another thing is that you can do is the familiar SQL tools. Like a lot of people know SQL, a lot of people knows REST APIs. With space and time, you can just it's a data platform and a decentralized data platform that you can easily use, execute any SQL queries, and load not only the smart contract executing SQL queries, but also load terabytes and terabytes of data into this platform. So you can just load off-chain data that you want. Weather data, you can just stocks, you can put game telemetry, you name it. And final thing is that, okay, this is decentralized. And how am I going to make sure that this data is secure? So space and time also came up with this novel cryptography called proof of SQL, which ensures that whatever you're executing with through smart contracts and Chainlink, the data source, the data source is being space and time, the data is tamper-proof, which means that the novel cryptography called that proof of SQL. So it generates the proofs, ZK proofs, that ensures that the data that is ingested into data warehouse is not manipulated, and also it's tamper-proof. So I'm going to go into the next slide. So what space and time is accomplishing in general. So I told you guys I'm a developer, and also I was a big data engineer. So I talked to a lot of app developers that had kind of the similar journey, especially Web 2 going into the Web 3 space. First, you just figure out what blockchain that you want your application to be on. Then you figure out the RPC endpoint provider, the full node, or archive node. Then maybe you need to index some data. Then you figure out the indexing solution, or you just want to manipulate the data. You write a custom ETL. You try to bring your off-chain data, and you try to figure out, okay, how am I going to put all this data into one place? And then also, as I mentioned, OLTP and OLAP, right? Analytical query or low latency queries. So you just always figure out, okay, what is my engine? What kind of data pipeline that I need to implement? So what we offer at Space and Time is that just don't worry about it. Let us be your data engineer. Let us figure out all that for you. You just ingest, if you want to ingest off-chain data, you can use Kafka connectors or REST API. You can plug in your dApp, or you can smart contract directly to Space and Time. And then just basically remove that friction of what you need to just implement. Oh, am I going to just spin up Postgres clusters, or am I going to spin up ClickHouse or Snowflake? So it just removes that friction so that you can be onboarded into Space and Time easily. All right, let's go into the next slide. This is very important for me. This is one of the things that I love about Space and Time, is that a hybrid transactional and analytical processing system. So normally, as I mentioned, if you want to ask a question to a database, think that low latency. If you ask a question like, hey, give me all my Twitter followers, it's a transactional query. It's very easy. It has to come back very quickly. But if you want to ask a question like, give me all my Twitter followers who follows Elon Musk and liked his tweet in the last 7 days about Dogecoin, also has an ENS, that this wallet address has more than 100 Dogecoin. So this question can be answered. I know that it's a lot, but this analytical query, complex query, can be asked on Space and Time. And it's in one single select query. And then Space and Time understands which query is transactional and low latency, which query is analytical, and then processes it based on your needs, so that you don't have to maintain two different engines for your application. All right, so I'm going to demo in a bit. Please just bear with me. I'm almost done. So space and time is this is the architecture. So how are we decentralized, right? So do you already have a lot of information that are out there? There's Snowflake, BigQuery. How is space and time different? And then how is more powerful, right? The power, where is this power coming from for the decentralization? Space and time in the middle, as you can see, there's a decentralized API gateway and data warehouse clusters. So they're a two-layer network. Decentralized API, and all of these are operated by node operators. So it's the validator layer, decentralized API gateway is consisting of the data ingestion, streaming with Kafka, and also this is where you connect to oracles and chaining to your smart contract. And what happens is that you ingest the data in the blockchain nodes on the left side over here. These are RPC, archival nodes or full nodes that we are ingesting data in. And then the databases, this can be a game telemetry. This can be your data that is living in a server, the terabytes of data that you want to combine your blockchain with your off-chain data or weather data or Twitter data. So all this data can be streamed in to space and time with Kafka, or you can ingest data with REST API. And then a decentralized API gateway ingests the data into data warehouse clusters, replicates the data, and at the end, it's stored in the IPFS for the latest replication as well. So what happens with, and also like this, we are also, the smart contract connection with the oracles also connects through the decentralized API gateway. It executes a REST API, and you have your access. You can have a JDBC connection. You can connect to Tableau, just very similar to what you're handling with the existing data warehouses. You can create analytics dashboard. I'm going to show you very cute dashboard structure that you can create with, and then you can plug into AI models, and then you can extract to another databases and streaming another pipeline. Last one. All right, so this is my last slide, and I'm going to go into start the application demoing later on. So the industry use cases, there are two use cases that I want to cover today. One of them is gaming, which I'm going to show you today. It's going to be like a full end-to-end demo that I'm going to showcase. The gaming, basically, think about it, you're playing a game and they're game telemetry. Game telemetry meaning that, okay, you started the game, you level up, you have a gun, you shot a person, you killed the boss. All these are game telemetry that lives in the gaming server. And also space and time in just all the blockchain data. So you have NFT staking information, NFT ownership, and everything that you want to, or I don't know, you want to give exclusive rewards to BASE owners, you name it. You can just write any kind of complex analytics. What you can do is you can ingest with the Kafka or REST API, you can ingest off-chain data, this game telemetry data, into space and time. And what happens is that with chaining keepers on automation, you can automate executing this data and ask questions like, hey, give me all the leaderboard in my game. And I want to send them exclusive rewards and distribute the rewards. So you can easily request this data through Chainlink and to space and time. Space and time creates proofs for that, and then ensures that this data is not manipulated and tamper-proof, and then returns tamper-proof query results to smart contracts. Now you can just at the end let your users and the leaderboard mint NFTs. So financial services, this is a little bit more complicated. You can do, you can execute that. Think that a global investment banking, they want to tokenize some securities. I don't know, there's some financial, you can grab some enterprise grade data warehouse, terabytes and terabytes of data into space and time. And at the end, it can be option prices that are calculated off chain. And you name it, you just can put all this financial data into space and time and terabytes of data aggregated and prepared for chaining oracles to feed into smart contracts. You can load log files, Kafka just API inserts. Like Steven is just talking. Hi, Steven. All right, so I'm going to showcase you. Before I go into the demo, I want to mention like how to get access. Please just like for the presentation at the end, like please feel free to ask the questions. And what you can do is go to Chainlink Hackathon. You're gonna see like there's only one README over here. This just to give you some little bit of information, like to get you started, right? What you can do is you can go and see the supported blockchains: Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche, and BNB chain. You can see the network access over here to access beta. So what you do over here, you provide your email. You say that you write Chainlink Hackathon and you're my favorite project, and then submit it and give us like a couple of hours and we will get you access. Okay, so this is the we have a separate environment for the hackathon, so feel free to it's going to be self onboarding later on, but for now, like it's isolated environment for the hackathon just for you to test it out. We have bounties worth of 25K. One of them is the best application built on space and time with Chainlink. Like hopefully like this is going to be the grand prize. It's going to be very exciting. Best partnership integration. This can be a very interesting use case that you can do with space and time and Chainlink. Also 5K will be distributed across all the creative builds on top of space and time. And also we are going to we are in beta, as you know, and make sure that if you just like file a bug and it's going to be in the same CXT community Chainlink Hackathon repo, go to here if you find a bug, or if you want to give a feedback or new insights that we can improve and what we can do, create a new issue, and then this will be considered in the bug bounty process. All right, so I'm not going to go into demo, but I want to mention the docs again. I'm so excited to show the demo, so like, sorry, but so you can see in the docs.spaceandtime.io getting started. It's a very good guideline. You can start after you get the access, create your user and just run your first query, follow the videos. They are very easy to follow videos that you can just like run your first REST API queries and etc. What you can do also, I definitely recommend JDBC connection. It makes implementation very easy. And for this hackathon, we also have two integrations with Chainlink, direct request integration, as well as the functions integration. So, so I love functions. Like I'm going to showcase functions today, not the direct request, but the difference between the architecture of direct request and functions is as follows. It's very like similar, I guess, like, so for the on-chain information, you have your smart contract, you ask Chainlink operator contract for a query, and this operator contract emits an event. Node operator job, this is the Chainlink node operator jobs, basically executes this query on top of space and time with the external adapter and feeds the data back into smart contract again, user smart contract. This is, I believe, like more centralized approach where functions run on Chainlink DOMs, right? So what the difference is, I understand, is that Chainlink DOM executes on like REST APIs like 5 times and then comes to consensus. Space and time is decentralized, tamper-proof. Chainlink DOM is decentralized, and it just feeds the correct results back to the user consumer. So today I'm going to show you the functions. All right, so let's see. Now I want to show you the actual dApp. I'm very excited about this. And then as you can see, it's pink. The reason it's pink is our background is like that I uploaded. You can customize your background as much as you want. It can be purple. And then CSS that you create for your dashboards if you want to, or just like play around with. The CSS can be changed based on your like just whatever the background that you put. You can create these kind of sweet dashboards, beautiful dashboards, and then based on the SQL query results. But how am I gonna, okay, Brew, like just show me how am I gonna use it? I mentioned to you that we are just indexing all the blockchain data. What I mean by it, it's really all the blockchain data. So you can come and see over here, there's a transaction, there are logs, like everything that you see in the Etherscan or Polyscan or BNB scan. Over here in the block explorers, there's like wallet balances, and you can even ask a question like, what is my wallet balance in a specific time? Not now, but you can just go back in time, and because we have all the data, you can ask SQL queries like, oh, I want to see the balance of a specific person at a specific time. And then there's logs and blocks and contract information, ERC 721, fungible and non-fungible token transfers and everything, like whatever you want to create. Then I'm just going to come over here. Sorry. All right. So the other thing I want to mention, I logged out from the other one, but all right. So we also index all the decentralized exchanges and then DeFi protocols. Uniswap, you can just come over here and see it's already indexed all the Uniswap data. So if you want to ask question from the DEX, the transfers and everything, or if you want to play around with Aave data, which is like maybe just you want to see the lending, like who is lending, who is just using the Aave platform. So you can ask those kind of questions, or DYDX, and then you can see all the tables and the smart contracts that are just deployed by the DYDX, right? Or any other exchanges. So you can ask a lot of queries. All right, let's execute a query, shall we? So I can just like write very straightforward queries, just like, hey, select start from Ethereum transactions. And you can just like ask this question. Normally, like, of course, this is a lot of data, but it limits to 2000 because it's a very big table, and it returns like in a couple seconds. As you can see, everything related to the transactions, you can just even ask a question like, oh, sorry. And in the same SQL select statement, you can ask like maybe Avalanche and Polygon and union this data in, but you can do even better. So I'm going to show you what I mean by it. So you can say that, show me all Ethereum balances, Ethereum wallets, with a balance greater than 100. So when you execute this command, all right, there you go. Oh, it's understood. I made a typo, but it got it. Look at that. So it's basically we integrated with ChatGPT. So nobody wants to run SQL, right? Like nobody wants to learn SQL. I love SQL, but you don't have to. So instead, you can ask questions like, show me all Ethereum wallets, show me the transactions, show me the top dexes, or just whatever the question that you want to ask. Based on the data model, OpenAI understands like which SQL query to execute, and it just runs the query result for you. And then one more thing is that there's a query visualization. What you can do is that based on the query that returns, it offers you like, hey, either it can be this chart, beautiful chart, or a block number. But yeah, just this is not what I want, bro. Like, okay, I can go in and then you can customize your chart. You can do a line chart and block number. So these are, of course, like not for your REST API or others, but you can just see if you just minting an NFT, you can see the weekly performance of your NFT, right? Or if you have a smart contract, you can see the transaction volume. Like you can just do all this analysis in one single platform. So we are not only providing the REST APIs, but you can create beautiful dashboards. So I want to create this chart, and beautiful chart. All right, and then I'm gonna just put this as test. You can save this chart to use it later. And then remember in the beginning, I showed you guys a dashboard. What you can do is you can create a new dashboard. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, all right, so I'm going to create a new dashboard. Whatever the visualization that I have is over here. I just created this in like a minute ago. So you can put a header, you can create new charts, and then create this like beautiful, whatever the dashboard that you want for your own smart contracts or on-chain or off-chain data. So I'm going to also, what you can do is that you can upload a specific image and then it will understand which CSS that works with this background and then create beautiful visualizations. Okay, so these are like fun, beautiful things. What else can you do? There's specific pipelines that you can set up. As I mentioned in my presentation, you can easily plug it into Kafka streams and now you can ingest data, off-chain data by yourself. Not by yourself, we will help you out, but you can ingest the data in. And you can manipulate the data and then you can feed the data into a new table at the end. So that's one of the pipelines, right? What else can you do? I'm going to show you in a bit. So, okay, but like, what if I want to just query my own smart contract? I don't want to deal with all this big data, like the logs and everything. So I have this Notion page over here. So for me to help with the demo, because I have a lot of things to cover, I'm going to go and say that, hey, give me all the events and structure in my smart contract, specifically in the Ethereum. So what this smart contract utility does, I enter the smart contract, it goes and checks the Etherscan. Do I have my smart contract binary interface? It checks the interface, it understands all the events, right? And then I'm gonna submit this. This is like example for SushiSwap. I just provided a SushiSwap MasterChef smart contract live on Ethereum mainnet. And then it basically said that like, hey, these are the events included in the smart contract. And then I'm just gonna send it to the indexing. So what you can do is like, you can index your own smart contract. All right, how am I gonna just put the data into Chainlink? Remember I mentioned like, it's like one shot. You just plug into your DApp and you use the REST API and you also feed the data that you want to smart contract. All right. So I have this query that I'm executing. This data, like, is just an example. You can execute any data you want. I'm just gonna, like, to go faster, I just created this query, and then what in the bottom says that like, hey, whatever the SQL query that you're executing and now you want to feed with Chainlink functions or direct requests to your smart contract, the data is going to look like this. So either you can send an integer, byte, string, and 2D array. I think it's like JSON, blah, but you need to manipulate the contract. Or, I mean, if you want out of the box, we already have smart contract examples for you so that you can just like feed bytes or integer and string and easily publish your data to an existing smart contract or deploy your own new contract with the UI. All right, so I think I covered it all. We talked about AI, we talked about the ETL, we talked about pipelines and dashboards, we covered the Chainlink functions and direct requests. So it's time for me to do the functions and Chainlink demo, what you can do with space and time and Chainlink. All right, so what I want to do is that it's very straightforward. I want to show you a dynamic NFT with space and time and Chainlink. I wanted to keep it very simple because with so much data, it can get very complicated. So what I mentioned is the game telemetry. What happens with the game telemetry? Game starts, you attack, you defend, you kill a king, or a boss, and then you collect some items. So what I did with this game telemetry data, every time you do something, you retrieve points based on the characters. For instance, I killed a king, I got 100 points. I got the collectible items, portion A or portion B. So very simple, right? What you're gonna see is that based on my gaming performance, I want my NFT to change. So I'm a game developer. I want to create dynamic NFT based on the gamer performance. So the idea is this. Everybody starts with a standard sword. You have a sword, I have a sword. Whenever we start the game, it's simple, standard sword that anybody uses. But I want, maybe like I'm so accomplished and then my sword can be an katana or Excalibur based on my performance. So it's going to start, well, everybody is going to start with the basic sword. And then based on your performance, either your NFT, dynamic NFT can be Katana or it can be Excalibur based on the game telemetry. So let's see how it's going to look like. So thank you, Midjourney, for creating beautiful images. So I generated this like image for basic sword. So I created already a table and then an NFT. I minted it and I have a basic sword. I started the game. And I want to just like dynamically change this NFT in the OpenSea based on my game telemetry. So first of all, what I'm going to do is that I want to show you this, right? Like before I just go into the functions have the hard hat repository. You can go through like the documentation. It's very straightforward and love functions. It's so easy to integrate. But before that, you need to log in, right? So first of all, I'm going to log in and then I have an access token. So in the functions demo, that the code that you're going to interacting with, right? I'm just going to clear this out. And then first of all, I'm just going to set an environment variable. So chaining also makes it very easy. Instead of .env, like just open up a specific environment variable table, they have this repository and then library that you can use. So you can set access token. So everything would be encrypted. So you can enter this once and then so that you have access to space and time with your code. All right, so I'm ready. And so now like I want to have a game telemetry auto table. So here, like I'm going to showcase you like JDBC connection, which I was mentioning. It's easy to integrate. We use dbeaver. You can always go in, just like create this connection with the hackathon space and time, username and password. And you just need the JDBC driver properties. You can download it from our documentation portal. And then what I'm going to show you is creating a table, right? So I'm going to create this. I think I didn't create this table. Did I create it? Oh, sorry. Let me connect one more time. Right. So that I'm not logged out. Let's see if I created this table earlier. Oh, you're not seeing what I'm doing. All right, sorry. Why it's not working? All right, let me see. Presentation, stop screen. Sorry about that, you guys. I didn't realize. Share screen. Share screen. Window. Dbeaver. Can you see it now? One second. Present, share screen, entire screen, screen more. Oh, shoot. Oh. All right. So let me go through that one more time. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. Sorry about that. I'm just like, phew. All right. So what I did is over here, I'm just like, basically, this is my CXT CLI. First of all, do you see it now? Perfect. So what I did is that I authenticate by using the CLI and it returns an access token. My apologies. All right, so I'm going to go in and then what I'm just going to do is that I set the environment variables and this env enc.set. I'm not going to show you, but you can just do an npx env-enc view and then you can see environment variables. So this is just to way to encrypt access token. So I'm just going to enter my access token. So this repository is basically like functions hard hat. If you interacted with chaining functions, there are a couple of things that you need to pay attention over here. Functions consumer, which is the smart contract that is very straightforward. I'm using ERC 721 for this demo. And then basically it has to have functions client and execute requests as well as the fulfill request to interact with the chaining. Chaining done. All right, so the other thing that you need to pay attention is here is the select statement. So I have a specific game telemetry and oh, yeah, you didn't even see the data, huh? So I'm going to show you the data in a bit. So the select statement, and then you need to pay attention to the access token over here, and then the return data type. And then the last one is the JavaScript code. So functions let you execute JavaScript code, and it's super fun. I love that. And access token. So this access token are encrypted. So even though you just provide the access token to access space and time, Chainlink has a way to encrypt that, and then nobody in the blockchain can see the specific access token. It's encrypted in the blockchain. And then it executes the data, like REST API on top of space and time, and then returns the result with this JavaScript. All right, so I set the environment variable. I have an access token. So I want to feed the data, right? So I'm going to create the table, game telemetry Arthur. Wait 1 second. Did I session out? All right, let me do this one more time. Did I? So source already exit. Perfect. I already created my table. So let's see what's in my table. All right, so I have my game is started, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert some data, and I have my standard table, standard sword, and I'm going to check like, oh my gosh, like, am I still in the sword 1? Yes, because like I have 111 points, and then I have to have more than 150 points to get into the level 2 and then upgrade my NFT. So what I do is that I'm going to go in and I'm going to insert a little bit more data, right? I'm adding more data to my game telemetry Arthur table. So let's see. I killed the king. Let's see how much points do I have. Can I upgrade my, yes. Now I'm ready to upgrade my NFT. So I don't have to do it as an end user. This can be automated by a game developer or a developer with a cron job or automation, right? So with the keeper's job, like as a developer, you can put this in easily and automate it. All right, so this is the CLI. So let's go to the function demo, and I'm going to execute simulation. All right, 1 second. Simulation. All right, so this simulation tries to figure out, okay, I'm going to execute the REST API and this JavaScript code. Is it going to return correct results? Yes, I upgraded. It's returned my sword. Also, what you can do is that you can also execute a REST API, right? What I want to do is like, I want to execute a curl command with my access token. So I'm going to go into CXC CLI. I'm going to go take the access token. I want to see exactly the same results with executing a REST API. This can be plugged into a dApp, right? This can be just, it can be your backend, whatever you want to. So I'm going to run this curl command. It exactly return the same results. I execute the same query. So let's do, we simulated, simulation runs correct. I check my REST API. I check my REST JDBC connection, all of the above. Okay, now it's time to feed the data to smart contract. All right, so let's do the requests. All right, function. All right, what was the thing? What was the function request Polygon Mumbai? All right, there you go. All right, so what I'm doing here is function request network Mumbai. I deploy my contract on Mumbai. My contract is specifically this. I didn't create the subscription just for this demo, but just assume that you already know what subscription is. It's basically just feeding your smart contract with link tokens and creating a subscription to feed the data into smart contract. So I'm going to request this data and the SQL query to return into smart contract. The data return correct, the sword 2, and it's basically just wait for a second. It's executing the transaction. Harrison, I have so much excitement. Do you have so much excitement, or do I have so much excitement? All right, so I deployed the data and published the data to smart contracts. So let's go and see my basic sword, and I'm just going to refresh. Now it's Katana. I upgraded. My NFT is now Katana based on my game telemetry. All right, let's add a little bit more. I want Excalibur, you guys. I need to attack more, collect more potions. Let me see my game telemetry in Arthur. I have more and more data. So let's see what sword I have now. I got a good portion. So I upgraded to sword 3. So think that as a game developer, oh, sorry about that. I am going back and forward, but it's a lot of stuff. All right. So I'm going to request one more time. You can automate this with the keepers, right? And you can just like feed the smart contract. Now you have sword 3, right? And let's do the publish. I want Excalibur. All right, request is sent. It's fulfilled. What it does is that it's chaining Dawn, execute REST API, and then space and time returns the result. It chaining Dawn comes to consensus, feeds the data back into smart contract, and now at the end I have Excalibur. All right, this is my demo, and I finalized. All right. I hope it was good. All right. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. All right. There you go. Hello. This is so interesting that I'm just like talking by myself. But all right. Do we have any questions? Is this the question? Oh my gosh. Sophia, are you there? Maybe like, okay, so much. Is this the question? Yeah, you're Moreno.
Yeah, hi, Ebru. Yes, so this is one of the questions that we have on the chat. So I will just start putting them then on the screen so that it's easy for you to see. And
amazing.
For everyone, feel free to drop your questions on the chat, and Ebru will be happy to answer to them.
High impact project like this to improve the Web3 ecosystem. Is this, I don't know. I mean, just use everything in space and time. Like for specifically, I mean, there's so many opportunities, I guess, that like in the Web3 space, like prior to that, like you were not able to do a lot of like complex analytics like that, right? So there's like a dynamic NFTs. You can do a lot of like off-chain, I don't know, stock options. You can bring off-chain data into space and time. You can, I don't know, collect it, you know, just combine the data from on-chain and off-chain, create some very complex analytical stuff like queries, and then feed the data back to smart contracts. I think like if you just like can just do all of that doesn't exist before, which like we are bringing it with the space and time, like I think you're good. Because like there's a lot of opportunity, and a lot of developers have been like struggling with like bringing like new use cases into smart contracts and blockchain. So now you can do it. Like think about it. You can do a lot of like, you can build your own like Twitter, right? Decentralized Twitter. I mean, there are already solutions out there, but like fully decentralized, not only the transactions going into decentralized like blockchains, but you can also, your analytical engine, your like, I don't know, like leaderboards, or your like the queries that you're running don't have to be on the centralized environment. So to biggest impact to make your application fully decentralized. All right. All right, and another question. All right, do you have diagram for this specific data flow? Sure, yeah. So if you go to the docs page, like, are you talking about the event in data ingestion or the architecture? So you can go in and check the architecture diagram, and then it will show you like how the data flows. into space and time. All right. Another question, how do we get better access to space and time again? So you go to spaceandtime.io, and let me see. Let me just like put it over here. Okay, yeah, I will just send you guys very quick, 1 second. I cannot write it here. Comments, private chat. Can you send this to everyone, Sophia, if you don't mind? I cannot send anything. Yeah, there you go. So as you can see in the last comment, you can see the onboarding info, access beta docs, like everything, so that to get access to beta, and then Chainlink Hackathon. Chainlink Hackathon is isolated environment. It is free to use. You don't have to pay the subscription. Anybody in the hackathon can use it. And if you sign up, you will see the NFT demo, dynamic NFT demo example with the email. Yeah, I can send you the repo of the game. Like just sign up, and then let's do this. Go to Discord. I will send it over there, like with the public repo. Okay. All right. I also want Excalibur. Can I store my whole backend DB in space and time, including using? Yes. Is it affordable? Compared to Snowflake, BigQuery, and like all these data platforms, yes, it's way cheaper. Like, yes, I know that Theo was just saying like the monthly subscription fee, but again, like when you think about it, like a data pipeline, an entire like if you just like going to store this data into Snowflake, your off-chain data, right? And it comes with 5 terabytes free storage, so you can ingest any data, and blockchain data is there. Like, you're not paying for the blockchain data. Blockchain data is for everyone. So you're just using the platform to execute queries. Okay, any other? In the case of Europe, are you confident your transaction querying are a good question? I wish like Stephen was here. Is Stephen here? I know, yes. But it is somebody asked this question, and then the answer was yes, but I just don't know the details very well. I'm so sorry for it, but I'm happy to just like follow up with our team and get you a correct answer. Is that okay? But as I know, I'm confident, but I need to get more information from our team. I'm mostly an engineer. All right. Can I send arbitrary post requests from dynamic origins to space and time and use it for analysis? Yes, correct. Yeah, you can just put any data into space and time. And can I see the question one more time? Can we? There you go. Can send the post request. Yes, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. You can just use the REST API or again, stream data in. You can ingest any data into space and time and do analysis on top of it. Yes. Correct. So so the question is, can I query real-time on-chain data with subscription? Yes, we real-time on-chain data. So we are indexing real-time, and then basically you can start querying, I think 5 seconds after block finality into space and time. We are indexing all the real-time data, like all the blocks, all the transactions, all the smart contract decoding and events and logs and everything. Yep. All right. Any other question? And I'm so sorry that it's just such a bummer. Like for a couple minutes, I hope it was not like I didn't miss anything, because a couple minutes, like you guys didn't have a chance to see what was going on. I realized it very late. Sorry about that. I hope it was okay. All right. No more questions. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be in the Discord channel in the Chainlink server. What is that, space and time channel, and our team is going to be there. Ping me if you have any questions. I think the repository for the dynamic NFT is not public yet. I'm going to make it public and send it over to Discord and pin it for you guys to use it, okay? But you can just start with the beta access and go through the documentation. We will help you with some cool stuff. All right, I cannot wait for you for just, seeing all the cool projects. And I'm going to be one of the judges, and I'll see you after the judging. Hopefully we will work together. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.